Please welcome Matt Steiner, the new Director of Justice for Vets at NADCP. A former Marine and combat veteran of the Iraq War, Matt implemented the Tulsa Veterans Treatment Court and worked to help make it a national mentor court.
Thank you. Had to have some music for my introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it is truly an honor and pleasure to be able to speak to you today. I'm extremely excited about coming on to NADCP, especially Justice for Vets, as we look to the future to develop and implement veterans treatment courts across our nation with a number of partners. In the Marine Corps, and in the military for that matter, you are indoctrinated to always be there for your fellow service members, no matter what the cost. You're a part of a team. When you're in a combat zone, you rely and care for one another, just as if they are your own brother or sister. You absolutely never leave anybody behind. In the armed forces, that is truly the mentality. What is so incredible about veterans treatment courts is that there are so many amazing folks, VA employees, judges, prosecutors, lawyers, team members, who although are not veterans themselves, but while in and out of court, go above and beyond the call of duty to help those veterans who need it. By your actions, you are not leaving any veteran behind, and there's nothing more patriotic than that. So many of you in this audience have taken that oath of enlistment or received a commission to fight along that veteran's side in their new battle against addiction. Pioneer judges such as Judge Robert Russell, Judge Sarah Smith, Judge Stephen Manley, Judge Patricia Marks, and Judge Wendy Lindley in court are literally fire team leaders, squad leaders, commanding officers, leading their veterans on a long, hot, sweaty, tired patrol and fighting on their side to make sure that they do succeed. When I worked in the Tulsa Veterans Treatment Court, and like so many of you that do work in a Veterans Treatment Court, it is absolutely incredible to see the transformation, to have a veteran that was not connected to any VA services before, but then to lead his or her substance abuse groups 6 months later, take advantage of vocational rehabilitation to learn a new trade, receive services from their State Department of Veterans Affairs, and get the support from other veterans who belong to veteran service organizations such as the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Marine Corps League, and National Association of Black Veterans is truly incredible. Our nation's first Commander-in-Chief, General George Washington, stated, "The willingness to which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation." Make no mistake, not only do veterans treatment courts treat our veterans, but they also restore the honor of our men and women who so proudly wore the uniform and answered the call to colors. The need for veterans treatment courts is definitely out there, and it's growing. What we are doing right now is making history, and I cannot wait to work with everybody in this audience to implement a veterans treatment court in every county, city, and state in our country. Hoorah. Now at this time, I have the privilege and honor to introduce a fellow Marine of mine, Nick Stevanovic. At the age of 20, Nick joined the United States Marine Corps and served as a rifleman with 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. He did 2 tours in Afghanistan and 1 in Iraq and earned the Combat Action Ribbon for fighting. The Combat Action Ribbon is a personal award given to Marines and sailors for valor for fighting in combat. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcome Nick Stevanovic.
Thank you. Okay, I want to start by saying, please excuse my nervousness. The largest crowd I've spoken in front of before has been 50 people. My goal here today is to quickly explain to you how the process works and how, from our perspective, you are saving lives, so that when you walk away from this room, you can always know that what you're doing is not a waste of time, not a waste of money or resources, how important it is. I'm not going to stand here and tell you war stories, because that's not what's important right now. What's important is what happened after. When I came home from the military, I was completely severed from society. The problem was that I was also severed from the Marine Corps. So I was alone, I had nothing. Drugs and alcohol, I think, is important for people to understand that people don't use these substances for no reason. They offer something. And in this, I like to use an analogy. I want everyone to imagine a cancer patient. Physical pain that is almost unbearable, along with the acceptance that their days are numbered. They've been given a few months to live, maybe. At this point, it becomes a matter of controlling the pain. For me, I had already accepted that my days were numbered. I remember constantly thinking I was not supposed to come home. I didn't know why it was like this, but I did know that the only thing I cared about was peace. I wanted peace and relief from these symptoms of the experiences that I had gone through. Some of these symptoms, like panic, sleeplessness, symptoms that Sigmund Freud discovered as somatic symptoms, physical symptoms that come from emotional experiences. At this point, the doctor sits down in front of the cancer patient and he offers that patient a pill, and he says, "This pill will give you instant relief. It may cause some problems down the line. It may cause you problems with your finances, your relationships, but that patient doesn't care about that. They want that instant relief." That is what substances offered me. So I took them and I got my instant relief. And I also got my problems that came along with it. But that's not what was important to me. I had fully accepted that I would never again be a contributing member of society. Fortunately for me, the drugs had not killed me before I was introduced into Judge Marks's Veterans Treatment Court. This was the first time that somebody had the power to help me. I had been to over half a dozen treatment centers, and nothing had worked. But I'd learned something once I got into Judge Marks's court, is that there was something more important to me than relief from my pain, and that was my freedom. And she was the only one who had the power to offer me help by saying, "I believe you can become a contributing member of society again. You may not believe this, but I do, and I'm going to give you this ultimatum. I am going to tell you that if you do continue to use drugs, then you will go to jail. And if you stop and give me 1 year of time, 1 year to try and come back to us, after that, if it doesn't work, it's on you." So that's what I did. And all of the parameters that were set up by Veterans Court combined for a result that I really can't pinpoint when it happened, but it was somewhere in that 1 year of time that I found out she was right. Beyond my wildest dreams and imaginations, I had realized that I can become a contributing member of society again. And the important thing to remember the most important thing that I want everybody to know is that my story is not exceptional. My story is no different from all of the other veterans that are going through your courts now. Every one of those veterans experiences the same process in returning to society. And it is possible for them all to come back. And that is what we are offering them with these treatment courts. Now I can stand here and talk in front of all of you, in front of General McCaffrey. I'm standing here with 1 semester left of my undergrad to get my substance abuse counseling degree and go to grad school. Before now, that time when I was before Veterans Treatment Court, I was living out of my car. Like I said, I had nothing. And it was this court, and only this court, that gave me back my life. I want to end by saying, 2 days ago, I talked to the judge that ran my treatment court for the first time since I had been in her court. I talked to her on the phone, and I told her that for the first time in my life, she is the only person that I have ever met, along with her employees in her court, that I could say, you have truly saved my life, because I am certain that I would not be standing here in front of you had it not been for this court. Thank you.